Hi, welcome back. The big story overnight, the government has eased the local sourcing rules for single brand retail. The 30% limit stays, but retailers can count sourcing for exports to make up the numbers. They can also sell goods online without first setting up a physical store, which I think is more relevant. Rajat Wahi, the partner at Deloitte, joins us now to talk about that. Mr. Wahi, good morning and thanks for taking the time out. Is this enough, you think? Will the relaxed sourcing norms make FDIs with single brands rush to India, or do you think a lot more needs to be done?
So I think it's a very strong step. I think it gives a very strong signal to the brands which have been waiting on the sidelines, trying to look at when they can enter India. Sourcing norms was a big challenge. Also, the ability to sell online before setting up a physical store was also a big area that they have been asking for. So I think both of these things are a very positive step. I think it also goes in line with that 100% FDI in contract manufacturing, which is also going to make it very easy for a lot of the brands that don't want to come and set up their own manufacturing here, but they can invest in contract manufacturers to basically set up to be able to produce in India. So from all of these three steps, it's a very positive signal to the brands here. And I think my sense is that many of the brands which are sort of been debating their India entry play, this will really encourage them. Also, the brands that are here through partners, through master franchisees, they are going to sort of evaluate their play in India. This gives them an opportunity to set up their own stores and their direct presence here.
Okay. Can you give us some names, Mr. Wahi, as to, would it be like Zara? Would it be Apple, Foxconn? I mean, when you speak of single brand, would it be, what kind of names should we be looking at?
So I think people like Zara, H&M are already here. They are already here direct. They are sort of already scaling up their operations. I think it's more around other brands which are not here. I mean, I also look at, in brands like, your luxury brands like Ralph Lauren and Calvin Klein, and all of these brands are actually getting a lot of products sourced from India, but they haven't set up operations here. This gives them an opportunity to look at to be able to include their global sourcing as part of the 30% local sourcing, and to be able to use that. Also, from a technology point of view, since we know that large technology manufacturing is happening through big contract manufacturers like Foxconn type businesses. So I think a lot of the electronics players, the players which are selling smartphones, computers, etc., they would also look at that as a strong signal to be able to invest in these contract manufacturers to scale up their business in India.
What happens to the local players, not so much the brick and mortar guys, but also the online guys? Because, this is big. Companies can start online sales. They don't have to have a physical store first up. The Mintras, the Jabongs, the local players, do you see serious competition? Because anyway, prices have dropped to, new lows.
So I think that, I mean, again, the online plays only for 2 years. Within 2 years, the physical store has to be set up. So they will have to have a physical presence here, irrespective of online. What online gets them the chance to do is to be able to test the waters with their products. My sense is that they will go to existing players to do that. I don't think they will be setting up their own online portals, but they can sell through other online players to be able to do that. So I think that from that perspective, the existing online platforms will benefit, and while at the same time the brands will get a chance to test the waters for their products, figure out what sells in India, what price point, before they move to setting up their physical stores.
Okay, have any of them got in touch with you in the past few years? After all, you'll have a global reach. And what else are they looking at? Would they want what labor norms? What would they want?
I think
for the
that's
push?
The other part, right? The FDI is the first part, but a lot of the brands which are wanting to come and set up in, manufacturing in India, setting up their retail stores in India, they want to have ease of sort of doing business, to be able to get, easily to get licenses to be able to open these stores. If they have to set up manufacturing, where should they set up manufacturing? Will they be able to get, land? Will they be able to get access to electricity, transport? So I think the infrastructure now has to sort of, follow on this, because the FDI is a great initiative. It also gives a signal to the brands that India is open for business. But the next step has to be able to provide them the infrastructure for retail, etc., for manufacturing. I think it's also good news for retailers, because suddenly a lot of the retailers, a lot of the malls which are looking for new brands, new propositions, they will have, hopefully more people sort of interested to open stores here. You have to just go across to to a market like Dubai to see the number of global brands that exist in Dubai today. I don't know, when I was last there and I looked at a couple of big malls and we did a count, there were some 172 brands which are not even in India, which are there in the mall of Dubai. So I think while many of those brands will be starting to look at India more seriously because this is one of the largest markets, obviously depending on the price point as well. So from that perspective, the next stage really has to be about providing the infrastructure, the clearances, where should they set up their operations, what should the back end look like, also the whole play around logistics, warehousing, how should they warehouse, where should they warehouse, how should they move the products. So we will need to have those hubs come up, which I'm very confident, which is going to follow from this.
So what happens to the existing contracts with some of these exclusive brand partners? I mean, do they still stay or do they go back to the drawing board?
I'm not sure it'll be a question of going back to the drawing board, but some of them, who want to come in directly and to be able to set up their experience stores. We all know that today more and more shoppers are looking for experience in stores. And brands are not able to create such large stores. To really, Apple is a good example as well. So many other brands want to set up experience stores, want to invest directly to be able to talk to the end consumer. So they may switch some of the relationship. I don't think that all of these relationships will move. They will still need local partners to execute the things on the ground. But I think it's a big opportunity for also to brands to directly engage with Indian consumers and shoppers directly, and to be able to start setting up those kind of experience stores and to be able to widen their footprint in India.
Who would benefit locally? I mean, besides people like Deloitte, who will they approach?
No, I'm not sure why. So besides people like Deloitte, I think they will approach. There will be a benefit for local distribution companies, logistics companies, retailers, also people who are doing market research. To be able to enable these companies to help open their stores. It'll also, local sourcing is going to drive hopefully manufacturing in India. So there's a big benefit for manufacturers, existing contract manufacturers who are manufacturing for brands that are exporting from here could start to see 100% FDI coming into them by the brands directly, which they can then offset for local sourcing norms. So lots of benefits for the entire ecosystem.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Rajat Pahi, thank you very much indeed for joining us and giving us an idea of what we should expect. Maybe in a couple of years, the economy will still wait to see when the interest from foreign investors comes in. But we're leaving the markets in a difficult spot.
Yes, we are. In fact, as we speak, the Bank Nifty is down over 200 points, so not recovered at all. And the Sensex as well, 220 points gone. But don't go anywhere. Lots happening in the markets. So we will wind down on Bazaar.